Welcome back into Eye on Agriculture. I'm Britton Rucker. We are talking about a critical issue in the cattle feeding industry today. That's rising death loss. Over the past 30 years, mortality trends have shifted in ways producers and researchers are still working to understand. Joining us now is Justin Waggoner, Beef Systems Specialist with Kansas State University, to break down what's changed, what's driving these losses, and what it means for the future of cattle feeding. Justin, how has the overall death loss in the cattle feeding industry changed over the past 3 decades?
So, Britton, what we've really documented within our Focus on Feedlot data set at Kansas State University is we've seen an increase in feedlot mortality or death loss rates really starting in the mid-1990s and all the way to present day. So in the early 1990s, average feedlot mortality rates were actually less than 1%. And what we're seeing in the industry today is feedlot death rates that would be in excess of 2% for both steers and heifers in most of our monthly closeouts.
Now, what data or even trends stand out to you the most when compared to death loss rates from the 1990s to today?
So, interestingly enough, we looked at this data from several different perspectives. So really the first step was to just gain a understanding of the data and how those trends have changed over time. And so what we observed was from the mid-1990s to 2003, so the early 2000s, death loss was increasing. Then from the period from 2004 to 2014, what we saw was death loss trends were really relatively flat. And then we saw those begin to increase again as we got from 2014 to really 2024. And so it's really interesting to see how those trends have changed over time across the time span there, those 3 decades. But we also looked at factors such as closeout month and days on feed as well. And so one of the interesting trends that I think we picked up in this data set was that feedlot death loss and mortality rates are seasonal. So feedlot mortality rates tend to be lowest in the fall for both steers and heifers, and then steadily increase as we get into the spring months. We also picked up an interesting difference between steers and heifers. So heifer death loss was actually higher than our steers in the months of May, June, and July, so those traditional summer months, if you will, for cattle on feed.
And Justin, I mean, cattle have changed in 30 years. Are heavier replacement weights or even faster growth expectations contributing to higher mortality?
Yeah, so great question, Britton. So you're absolutely right. So cattle have changed tremendously in the last 30 years. And so although we didn't specifically look at feedlot exit weights or necessarily performance in our data set, we did evaluate the relationship between days on feed. Essentially asking the question, as we increase days on feed, does that increase the relative mortality rates within the feedlot industry? And the answer to that question is yes, it does. But interestingly enough, the relationship with days on feed gives us some indication that days on feed only accounts for about 50 to 60% of the response that we see in feedlot mortality rates. So really what I think that tells us is feedlot death loss is a function of increasing days on feed, but there's also some other factors at play here as well.
Now we talked to Justin a lot more from how much of today's death loss can be linked to health issues like respiratory disease or digestive disorders, to weather extremes, heat stress, or even severe cold, and if those are more of a factor now than in the past decades. To see our full interview, visit the Eye on Agriculture section on your streaming apps right now.